You're watching Toronto Sports Rush on the Bet Rivers Network.
Time to talk Jays with Dan, Keegan, and Daisy. We've never had a pooch. We've never had a pooch here. We got a pooch
Guest
hanging
analyst.
out.
Guest analyst, this is that's her spot. Normally that lamp above her is on and she just kind of rotates like a gas station hot dog here, but it's about as busy as it gets around here. It's a big dog.
Have any major league teams, I know minor league teams have done it, any major league teams in a promotion used a dog as a bat boy yet?
I don't think recently. And my opinion is that whatever team it was that did the original bat dog seemed to have the Michael Jordan of bat dogs. Because now anytime I see it, it's just like blooper, dog takes a dump on the field instead of doing its job. So I don't know. I don't think that any dogs have since lived up to the reputation of the original bat dog. But man, that was some OG Twitter era viral every day. You're never going to believe what this dog just did. Number one on the top 10 every night, a dog picks up a bat.
But teams still have bring your dog to the ballpark, and it would infuriate me because we'd always show shots in our highlight packs. And I would wonder, why would you ever want to put yourself through that? And secondly, the dog through that.
Yeah. And especially there's 500 of them in the park. Now the Jays
and where
don't
are they
do
shitting
that.
And pissing?
That's the issue. I don't know if my curiosity has been, because if you have a large outdoor stadium, open roof, let's say Yankee Stadium or Fenway, there has to be some drainage built in. And you don't have that at Rogers Center. I'd imagine that hosting a dog night involves a fire hose to all the bleachers after, which cannot be a good job. But you got to kind of sanitize the place. So maybe for the best that cannot happen in Toronto.
A dog walk is the furthest I want to take a dog into the general public. But to a ballpark, that seems like a nightmare. The Jays have never done it, I don't think.
I don't think so. Hopefully never. As much as I love everyone's dogs, I will visit them on the street or in your home, not in the ballpark stinking it up.
I would pay to see cat at the park night, kitty cat night, because it would be chaos.
All of them lost, people crying, looking for their
cats.
Hissing,
scratching, and because they're terrified to leave their homes. So, So the Toronto Blue Jays, we sit here again. It seems it's the same story. Beat up on one team, another team comes to town, and you're like, oh yeah, these are the Jays. But let's start with that A's series. Man, did that team ever need it? It was pad your stats weekend.
The A's, God bless them, but they're still in a transition phase, let's call it. And they're pitching especially. I actually think the A's are a pretty fun young team, and they have a lot of really cool pieces. And hopefully they continue to spend a bit of money. That's cool. But they're not there yet. They're just not. And yeah, it's easy to say, listen, it was the A's, it doesn't count, but you got to beat up on the bad teams. In past years, we've seen the Blue Jays lower themselves to the level of those teams, and this time they didn't. They beat up on them, and that was great to see. But then the Phillies come to town, and yesterday's game, I was thinking as I walked out of it, it was very ugly, but I think Bowden Francis got beat up in that game more than the Blue Jays got beat up in that game. It's just one horrible inning, and you're down 6-0.
6-run first,
Come on. And the Phillies were a terrible matchup for Bowden Francis. As bad as it can probably get in the league, because he is homer prone, and they've got a bunch of big lefties who can hit home runs. It was pretty dangerous. And that's an ugly one, man, for Bowden Francis, because it puts us back in that conversation. He's had a couple of outings this year where he'll make a bit of a tinker, and it's good for the next one. But we haven't seen that stretch of 2, 3, 4, 5 start to build for him. And if that rotation spot gets shaky on top of Max Scherzer's open spot, then yikes. That's when this whole thing gets a little scary.
And if he has another shaky start like that, then do they have to make a change?
I think then you have to talk about Eric Lauer in the rotation. Lauer has been really good this year. He has exceeded my expectations completely, and he's done it while pitching in a bit of a flexible role, starting, relieving, coming in at different times in the second or third. And Bowden Francis showed us all so much last year. And it's amazing how much that's changed coming into this year. Now, a lot of the talk around Francis in late 2024, while he was chasing no-hitters and dominating teams, was just a sense of curiosity over how it was happening. I remember, I think it was Taylor Ward of the Angels when he almost no-hit them, and he had that spicy quote of like, oh, everything was kind of hittable. I didn't really see what was amazing about it. And that has always stuck in my brain because Bowden Francis does not have Kevin Gausman's splitter that can dominate you. He does not have Jose Barrios' breaking ball that can really, really fool a hitter. He does not have the depth of arsenal of Chris Bassett. He doesn't throw 98. He was making it work, but without a dominant pitch or a dominant thing in his game. And if you're going to do it that way, you have to be perfect. You cannot miss a spot. Because if you miss a spot, you're throwing 93, see ya. And that's what we keep seeing now with Bowden Francis. So I hope that he can turn this around a bit because it's a great story. He's a great guy, but lately has not been good.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you, because I was talking to Dan Schulman about this on Friday. We talked about how Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani have the aura about them where they get people's attention when they come to the plate. Did you notice that with Bryce Harper? Is he close to them? Is there a buzz when Bryce Harper comes to the plate?
I somehow think he's still underrated, man. Like
I love him. He's
the career
amazing.
He's built. It's amazing, and he's been. I think Bryce Harper has been very consistently the top 5 guy in the game. Now, a lot of people have spiked up above him to have the Aaron Judge season, or Ohtani does what he does. But Bryce Harper's always right there. And, man, I remember this would be how many years ago now, getting that copy of Sports Illustrated in the mail, Bryce Harper on the front. And I think there was something about this dude hits 500-foot home runs. He's only 16, this kid from Vegas. And for that to actually turn into this type of MLB career is nuts. Because we've seen in every sport how there's the next big thing, the next this, the next that. Usually doesn't pan out, either because they get hurt or they've got a crazy dad that drives them too hard, or there's all these stumbling blocks. And Bryce Harper has been exactly as advertised. He is a playoff performer on top of that. He's someone who I think sets the identity of a team, and he fits Philly perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Man, because like he's got that Philly edge. I love the team fit for him. And I really do think that he's one of those guys in baseball who probably deserves a little more appreciation. Like, I think on a clear Hall of Fame track at this point, and probably one of my 5 favorite players to watch take an at-bat in Major League Baseball easily.
He's a cool dude. He's a man of the people. He's great on social media, and people, whether they like it or not, they like him because he's always dirty. His uniform is always dirty. He comes up in the first inning and you're like, how does he have dirt all over him? So you're like, man, it's already in your brain. You're like, wow, he's trying harder than everyone else.
I'd be doing that if I was a big leaguer. I'd be out for warm-ups, just like stretching, but I'd accidentally be stretching on the infield dirt. So I could come up and look gritty. I'd be looking like Reed Johnson all the time or something. Man,
if the Jays, who sells tickets for the Jays? If you were to pick a Jay where you're like, I'm going to pay money to see that guy, do they have anyone even in the realm of Bryce Harper? Yeah, are you paying money to see George Springer, Dalton Varsho?
Not on a grand scale. No, you'll have some fans of each, and rightfully so. But in terms of real needle movers, starting with Vladdy, but I don't know if Vladdy is at the same level right now as some of the Judge, Ohtani, Soto in this league. He can be. He has the personality to be that, but what is he at 850 OPS right now? Vladdy's having a very good season. He's not having a great or an elite season yet. I think that will come. I think it'll be like last year where he really gets hot and starts to explode these next couple of months. But Vladdy is still kind of on that very good line, and we know how much better he can be. So he moves some of it, but when Vladdy's on a real heater, when he is hitting a couple home runs a week and really getting into it, that's when this changes. That's when people start to come just to see Vladdy. I don't know if he's over that line right now, though.
I'm glad I mentioned Varsho and Springer and left out Vladdy. I'm an idiot. Hey, Keegan, you've got Max Scherzer news. This is big.
More and more. So he faced, we're talking on Wednesday, on Tuesday, he faced a few of his own hitters once again through 37 pitches. What's going to happen now is, I feel like I have this Max Scherzer matrix in my brain of of updates. Now, he's going to travel to Florida for Sunday. On Sunday, he will either pitch in a complex league game, which is against, 18-year-olds, kids just starting out, or he will throw live BP to some rehab guys or whoever's around. But however it happens, he'll throw about 3 innings on that Sunday. If all of that goes well, that's when a formal rehab starts. Probably with a game in single A Dunedin, then you get to triple A Buffalo and go from there. But like we've talked about at each stage of this, Dan, it's until he gets to 50 or 60 pitches, you don't really know what's going to happen. Because he has said himself that that's kind of the magic number, or whatever the opposite of a magic number is, then in the negative sense, of when his thumb starts to flare up. The next day, after he throws 50, 55, 60 pitches, that's when it hurts him. So while all of this is good news, it's good news with a bit of a cringing look on your face, like, okay, so far so good, but the real test is coming. So we'll see how that goes Sunday into early next week, but especially with the trouble Bowden Francis is having, the Jays just need him. They need Max Scherzer. At points earlier this year, it's easier to say, hey, when he's back, it'll be great. No, they need the guy. They paid him $15 million. They need him to pitch right now.
Max Scherzer might want to go to my doctor because I went in with a sore thumb that is like really painful for the last 6 months. And he said, Dan, you have arthritis.
There you go.
I have officially reached the age where I have old people diagnoses. Keegan, I went to open a jar of pickles the other day. I struggled to do it because of the pain in my thumb. I'm old.
Wow, we're gonna have to get you one of those jar openers that you buy for your grandparents. Just leave it on the counter. It goes boot and opens it up for you.
So have they ruled that out? Maybe he's got arthritis.
It seems to be this grand mystery of what's going on with this that spanned multiple years, multiple teams, multiple medical staffs, and it turns into this, the knee bones connected to the hip bone type of song where Scherzer, the man can talk, and the man has a PhD in thumb right now, and he will tell you exactly how it connects into the forearm to the elbow, how that led to his shoulder issue a couple of years ago. So that's always his worry, and he seems, from speaking to him in spring training and early in the year, he seems extremely conscious of that and needing it to be 100%. Like, not 99 is not good enough. Like 100% back. So hopefully it happens, man. This is Max Scherzer, and when he's healthy, he can be really good. Like, if he's healthy and he can give them 5 innings, I think he upgrades the rotation. He doesn't just fill it in. I think he upgrades it. He's still a really, really good pitcher. It's just that his body is exhausted, I think, at this point. He's pitched a lot of innings.
Well, let him know that if he wants a second opinion, you always have players going to, what is it, the Dr. James Andrews? Is that the guy's name? James
Andrews, and there's one more who the Blue Jays should have a punch card.
So
with.
he could go out in right field and say, I'm going to this guy's doctor. Maybe he's got the correct diagnosis. In the basement of a clinic in Oshawa, Ontario.
The answer lies in the schwa, let me tell you.
A lot of life's mysteries can be solved by a trip to Oshawa.
Yeah, a lot of things that you can get there would be flagged on an MLB drug report.
Oh, man. One last thing. Can we talk about Barger?
Oh, baby.
This guy's
Canada's favorite baseball player.
We talk about the complex stats that I don't make sense of, but every time someone mentions Barger, they bring up his exit velocity, and it's among the best.
He's just a really fun baseball player, man. It's amazing to see this all work, because for the first couple months of the season, or for last month, the results weren't really there. But some people who either wanted to sound smart or were actually projecting things would tell you, look at his bat speed, look at his this. And to me, I get it, but to 99% of fans, it's like, shut up, come on. Like, did he get a hit or not? That's what matters, what happens on the TV each night. Now it's coming together, and that's so impressive because I've been pretty slow behind on Barger, I got to be honest, because I see players like this every spring. Every spring has its own version of Brett Lawrie or someone like that, where it's all muscle and tools and speed and power, but it doesn't come together. And I think what you're seeing now is the mental game coming together for Addison Barger. And what I have learned is that mental game means different things for different guys. It does not need to mean that you have a PhD in physics and you understand the movement of the ball and the angle, like whatever. For Addison Barger, it just means he's calmed down. And he is a guy I think you can tell just by looking at him. Like, he's always up and amped and at 100% maximum everything. Just calming down a little bit and trusting that if he makes contact with the baseball, it's going to be very hard. That's really helped him lately. And now comes the hard part, which is surviving the first big adjustment pitchers are going to make. This is Davis Schneider all over again. Now other teams are going to look at this and say, hey, like that guy who looks like a linebacker is making all the pitchers look stupid. Let's not have that happen to us. They're going to adjust to him. It's going to be a question of whether Barger can make that adjustment back. It's always that one big first adjustment determines if you're a flash or if you are a legitimate long-term big leaguer. And it's so important this next month for him. But the physical tools are rare. He can throw harder than almost any player on this team, any pitcher. He had a throw yesterday in the Tuesday game from the outfield, I think was 98.5 miles an hour. Like that just doesn't happen. He is a special physical talent, one that does not come along in a farm system all that often. It's just about putting it together, man. And if he can put it together, if he can be this guy all the time, changes the whole team. Like, finding that essentially for free instead of spending $100 million on it changes a team. Absolutely.
All aboard the Barger train, Keegan.
Hey.
Thanks, buddy.
You got it, Dan.
Thanks for watching Toronto Sports Rush on the Bet Rivers Network.